Hi everybody, Wildside here again. So today on this video I've got those of end. I guess I'll start with the copper MIG welder tip. I used to shape this thing after I drilled it out. If you've read the instructions, you have to drill out the MIG welder tip with a 3.5mm drill bit almost down to the end. But what I found was that after doing that, if I tried shaping and hammering down the tip then, I tended to get clogs in it. And it seems like shaping it prior to drilling gives better results overall. Now basically what I do is I shove this thing onto the drill press, and I use a flat file to give it a point all the way to the circle. I don't necessarily leave any kind of flat area around the circle, since the hammer will sort of take care of that when I tap it in. But what I found is that even then, that's not really so desirable, especially if you're printing on bare glass, in particular with ABS. The more of a flat spot you have around the nozzle opening, the greater the likelihood that you're going to get some roll up as the nozzle strikes the surface of the glass. That flat area, the bigger it becomes, will tend to create some drag and pull your print right off there. So what I do is I turn it on the drill press, hit it with lap file, and then I smooth it out with some sandpaper and get it nice and sharp there. And then later we just tap it gently into the brass coupling. Now another thing that I've departed from the original instructions is that instead of using the brass coupling as is, I take away this little lip. It's so troublesome to try and drill the holes the right size to make this whole thing fit when it's just as easy to remove that lip. Now you could sit there with the flat file and turn the thing on the drill press. But what I do is I just take the thing, mount it up on the drill press, and then just take my pliers and gently apply pressure until I get right to the surface. Now, in order to do this on the drill press, what I do is, along with the brass couplings that I buy the male also. And what I do is I actually chuck this part onto the drill press, and that lets me screw this guy on there. And basically thing going as fast as I can, and so then it's no problem just taking your pliers, and because they're steel, they're a lot harder than brass. Brass is probably softer metals. You just sit there and until all that material is gone, and then smooth it out a little bit with some sandpaper. The diameter of these tips, as you buy them in the US, these are 1/4" tips with the 1/2" thread on this side. It comes out to 5/16, so it's perfect, and perfect that is for using a 5/16 bit. And then I just have my stock aluminum, which I drill another 5/16 hole in, and so the nozzle fits right in there, just like that. I'll have to push this one a little bit harder. Anyway, once it's in there, what I do is I drill another hole down the end of the block, and this one goes all the way into the 5/16 hole. This is a 3.5mm hole, and then I use a 4mm tap to thread this guy, and then I can use my my M4 set screws. I just drive them in there. It's got a little hex nut opening in it, and that's what I used to lock in the brass coupling and the MIG welder tip. So that's basically how I've been preparing these lately. Same thing for drilling out the inside of the coupling. It doesn't leave a whole lot of room. See how close the MIG welder tip is to the diameter of that thing. The MIG welder tip is a 1/4" in diameter. So basically what I do is I drill about half of this down to a 1/4", so that the MIG welder tip actually sits in there freely up until that point. and then I use a slightly smaller drill bit to remount the rest of it. And what that does is it eliminates enough material so that when I start tapping this thing in, it's not pressed in there so hard that I absolutely crush the MIG welder tip, or that the brass coupling deforms. So basically just find the next size down from a 1/4 inch that you can find, the closest one. Let's see, so a 1/4 inch would be about 16/64, so 15/64 would be close to that. Also, let's see, what would be in the 32nds. Anyway, you get the idea. If you're in the UK or in Europe or somewhere else where the standard is metric, just kind of figure out, I guess, what your coupling measurements are, and just go from there. So anyway, that's a little bit about how I do it with just a drill press. Again, one of the driving factors behind my design is simplicity in the use of very basic tools that are easy to get a hold of. And if you're interested in shaping the PTFE tube, I think I've already posted a video on that separately. So anyway, if you're attempting to make my hot end, I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.